Hi, this is Aaron with Zollotech. Today we have something completely different. We have the Palm Pre and the HTC Hero, both from Sprint. Now I recently switched just to try and thought I'd give the Pre a try. I've had the iPhone for two and a half years. Since the original, I've had each iteration of iPhone, so thought we'd take a look at the Pre and the HTC Hero. This actually is my phone. I've been using it a week and a half or so, non-stop. It's been my exclusive phone. This is actually my wife's phone, and she's been using that for a week and a half. I can give you her thoughts and mine, as I've used this one quite a bit as well. And I do have the iPhone, but we'll do that in another comparison individually. So this phone, the Pre, you've probably already seen it. I do have the inductive charging back for the touchstone on the back. This is the Hero, and you can see form factor pretty similar as far as width, but the Hero is a bit taller. As far as weight, they're about the same. I don't have the actual specs on me, but they are about the same. This one is a slider, and you can see the keyboard is backlit. This is touch. It is the only multi-touch, fully multi-touch Android phone at the moment on the market. The new Droid phone is only multi-touch for the keyboard, so it is not fully multi-touch. Signal strength, my batteries are both kind of low on these. Signal strength, pretty good in this area. I am running off a Sprint AirRave femtocell right now with Wi-Fi in the house. They're coming from the same signal. I don't know if you can see this, but the Wi-Fi on the Hero is less. It doesn't pick up the signal as well. I do have full bars as far as Wi-Fi goes on the Pre. As far as interfaces go, to compare the two is a little bit tough to do, in that this is much more iPhone-like. It was made from some of the iPhone developers that left Apple and made the Palm Pre. That said, it is a little bit more like the iPhone. This one, definitely different, but very cool in its own way. So you've got different home screens on the Hero, and we can go in more in depth on those as far as what they do and that sort of thing in a different review, but I kind of want to compare these. So as far as web browser speed, I thought we could start there, because the thing I did the most on my iPhone is I'd check the web and I'd check email. So I'd check Engadget, different websites. Let's open the browser on this. Now, like I said, we're both on the same Wi-Fi signal, so it's a pretty fair comparison. This one has to retrieve sign-in details, and I'm not really sure what that's all about, but that seems to be consistent every time it goes to browse the web. So if I want to bring up the actual address bar here, I hit home. I'm sorry, I don't hit home. I actually hit menu. And you can see we're back. It does open programs very snappy, very quick. We'll go to Engadget. See, it'll bring up the, just to give you an idea, Engadget, we'll bring that up. I've got it here as a bookmark in here, and they're both loading now. The Pre is about the same speed as the iPhone 3GS. Now I don't know if you can see there's actually a bar down here for status. This one actually has a wheel that spins, or actually fills in this part right here, and it does have notifications down here that's telling me I have an alarm set, which I do for the morning. So you can see this is already rendered. You can't really scroll a whole lot. It's a little bit choppy, and it does that from time to time. But you can definitely scroll, look through, and this one, there we go. It just went into sleep already. So it loads the website in large or zoomed in. You can zoom out by pinching. The pinch, and there we have the website rendered. Now this does have flash. It is not full flash, but it's got enough. You can't just go to like Hulu, for example, and play a movie from it. Here we have scrolling much more fluid on the Pre, especially when the site's fully loaded. Down here you can see that's actually my alert. And there we go. So this is still not fully done loading. The web browser is probably my most disappointing thing on the HTC Hero. That's probably my least favorite thing. And I'm downloading something, and I don't know what I'm doing on the Pre. I downloaded something by accident. So that's probably the biggest disappointment as far as speed. However, it's not unusable, and if you're coming from something like a Windows mobile phone, you'll probably be happy with it. I probably could live with it, but it is a little bit slow for my taste. Everything else on the phone I really like. The one thing I like about the Pre is the speed in which you can navigate the interface and that sort of thing. So if you want to go back to the home screen, there's a home button here on the Android phone. On here, if I want to get rid of this, I just flick up with my thumb or finger and swipe it away. It's closed. If I want to go to the phone, there's the phone, and it's pretty snappy, and there we go. If I want to go to the phone on this one, it takes a second, but it's pretty snappy as well. So very similar that way. They both have notifications. The Pre does that down here. You can see there's an alarm notification. You can swipe it off the screen, and it's still active, it's just there. If I want to bring up the home screen with the apps, I touch that, and I can scroll through the different apps left to right, and you've probably seen this if you've seen the Pre. As far as navigating through the HTC Touch, same idea, but you hit this button here, and you can navigate through the different apps. And a little bit choppy, but for the most part, okay. This has a 5-megapixel camera. This has a 3-megapixel with flash and autofocus. This also has autofocus and video. I would imagine that at some point you will get video on the Pre, but at this time it's undetermined when, if it will be with a new update or not. There's about 8,000 to 10,000 apps for the HTC Hero or any Android phone at this point. As far as the Pre goes, there is under 300 apps, or it's approaching 300 or somewhere right in there, not even close. The most disappointing thing I find with the Pre is probably the email. When I go into the email app, it will open here in my inbox for Gmail. Oops, that's the wrong one. In my inbox for Gmail, let's go into that. You can see there's different people subscribing to YouTube. If I want to get rid of this, I slide it off the screen. I have to do that individually, and there's no quick way to delete emails without a special patch to do so, which you could see that on something like Pre-Central, that sort of thing. Now, there is some handy things with the Hero. You've got the scroll ball. You can go back and forth. You can flick. So you've got multiple ways of doing things. If you want to go back and you're in something, there's a back button, there's a search button. Real handy. If you get an email or a text message, the message will show up in the widget that we have here, or you can just pull down and it will show up in the notifications. And the Hero is pretty snappy. It does have better battery life than the Pre. The Pre's battery life I've found out to be pretty poor. After using it the same way I would use my iPhone, I originally started using it with the iPhone. I used to have I have 5 email accounts generally. It would check the email accounts every 15 to 30 minutes depending on which account it was on the iPhone. I set it up the same way on the Pre, and using it regularly, about the same, I got about, I don't know, 4 hours and I was down 50%. So I would say 8 hours the Pre would last with a full charge. The Hero, on the other hand, gets about 12 hours on the same charge, same usage. My iPhone, I could go a day and a half without charging it, depending on usage. But the Pre's been pretty disappointing battery-wise, and you probably know that if you have one or if you've looked at one. And there's different tricks you can do, shut off wireless and Bluetooth and all that, but I really don't want to have to do that because I didn't have to do it on the iPhone. As far as this phone goes, like I said, it's been okay with battery, and the HTC has confirmed they're going to update it with Android 2. So we'll go ahead and compare some other things. We'll compare each phone to the iPhone in the next section. But for now, send me some questions and we'll go ahead and compare all you want. Just kind of want to show you browser speed and email. Oh, and before we go, let me show you email quickly in here. There's an email app on the home screen that shows you a quick preview. You can go to the next or come back. Pretty snappy. And in here you have a full email program, and you can go see where it went. It was actually, there we go, there's Gmail, and you can see it loads fairly quick, and here's a couple different things. Like I said, this is not my phone, so I don't have as much email in here, but it loads pretty quickly, and overall the phone is very responsive. The biggest disappointment with the Hero is the web browser speed. So we'll see you next time on the second part of this.